Hello everyone, today we will be discussing the equity financing of FedEx. FedEx's dividend payout of $5.52 and yield of 2.06% show that investors view it as a stable income stock. It's attractive to income-focused investors while maintaining steady financial performance. The price-to-sales ratio of 0.77 suggests that FedEx is currently undervalued based on its revenue generation. Investors may see this as a good opportunity for long-term gains. FedEx's EV/EBITDA ratio of 9.07 shows moderate valuation relative to its earnings potential, which is generally seen as a sign of solid growth opportunities and financial stability. The price-to-earnings ratio of 16.89 indicates balanced investor expectations. FedEx is neither overvalued nor undervalued, signaling steady growth and consistent earnings performance. FedEx's EPS, earnings per share, of $17.21 shows strong profitability, reinforcing investor confidence in its ability to generate income and perform well over time. The market-to-book ratio of 2.2 indicates that FedEx is reasonably valued in terms of its assets, reflecting solid investor confidence without excessive speculation. FedEx went public on April 12, 1978, with an initial offering price of $24 per share. The company issued 2.9 million shares, raising $72 million. This IPO was considered a success, allowing FedEx to expand its operations and solidify its position as a leader in the transportation and logistics industry. The funds helped the company invest in new technology and expand its delivery network. The initial public offering laid the foundation for FedEx's future growth and innovation. Since its initial public offering in 1978, FedEx has issued additional shares to fund its expansions. It has had 5 stock splits, all at a 2-for-1 ratio. These splits help improve liquidity, making the stock more accessible to a broader range of investors and signaling growth to the market. The funds helped the company invest in new technology and expand its delivery network. The IPO laid the foundation for FedEx's future growth and innovation as well. FedEx initiated dividend payments in 2002 and has consistently grown in its dividend since then. The current dividend is $5.52 per share over the trailing 12 months. FedEx's dividend policy focuses on balancing returning value to shareholders with reinvesting in the business for growth. Its conservative payout ratio reflects this approach, ensuring long-term financial stability. Looking at the historical beta of FedEx from 2020 to 2024, we can see that in 2020, FedEx had a beta as high as 1.7, meaning it was quite volatile compared to the market. However, over time, that volatility has decreased. Today, FedEx has a beta of 1.17, indicating that while it remains slightly more volatile than the market, the level of risk has reduced. For investors, this suggests that while FedEx may still experience slightly larger swings in price compared to the overall market, the stock stability has improved. This is particularly useful for investors looking for a balance between potential high returns and a manageable risk. Looking at FedEx's stock performance from 2020 to 2024, we see a significant rise, with the stock price increasing by 86.66% over this period, now standing at $200.66.93. However, this trend hasn't been without major fluctuations. In 2020, FedEx experienced a decline as uncertainty from the global pandemic disrupted the shipping and logistics industry. This was followed by a sharp recovery in 2021, where FedEx capitalized on the rise of e-commerce and growing demand for shipping services during lockdowns, causing a peak in mid-2021. Between 2022 and 2023, the stock dropped again due to supply chain disruptions and broader economic uncertainty, with inflation and rising costs putting pressure on operations. Now in 2024, we see a recovery and steady growth as FedEx adjusts its strategies, improving its operations and capitalizing on market opportunities. The stock shows a return to stability as the company continues to navigate post-pandemic challenges. Let's take a look at the return on investment for FedEx stock over different periods. We've used a standard ROI formula which calculates the percentage increase or decrease in value from the initial investment. First, if you had purchased FedEx stock back in 1978 at $24 and sold it today for $267.15, you would have seen an ROI of a staggering 1,013.13%. This demonstrates long-term growth of the company. For those who invested more recently, between October 2020 and October 24, their ROI would be 4.69%, showing modest but steady growth. If you bought stock in October of 2022, the ROI would be much higher at 73.04% as the price rebounded after a drop. However, more recent investments over shorter periods show smaller returns. For example, buying the stock in October of 2023 would yield a small ROI of 0.77%. In the past month, the ROI actually turned negative with a loss of 8.97 between September and October 2024. Understanding these ROIs help investors gauge both the long-term potential and short-term fluctuations in FedEx's stock performance. From a long-term perspective, FedEx has shown exceptional growth, with a massive ROI of over 1,013.13% since 1978. This suggests the company is a resilient player in the logistics industry and is able to adapt and grow over time. In more recent periods, the stock has seen modest gains. From 2020 to 2024, there was a 4.69 return, reflecting the company's gradual recovery from pandemic disruptions. However, if you had invested in 2022 during a pricing dip, the ROI would have been much higher at 73.04%. But it's important to consider the recent short-term fluctuations as well. Between September and October 2024, we saw nearly a 9% loss. This volatility indicates that while FedEx is a strong company, it remains vulnerable to the market and global economic pressures, such as supply chain challenges. In conclusion, for long-term investors, FedEx is a strong candidate given its historical performance and market position. However, those seeking short-term gains might want to be cautious given the recent volatility. Ultimately, FedEx is a good potential investment for those with a long-term view and tolerance for some short-term market fluctuations. In my design statement, several resources were used to complete this assignment. These sources include websites such as Google Finance, the official FedEx website, several other finance websites, as well as the course textbook provided. And these are the references I used to complete this assignment.